We're going to be doing longer unit conversions. Okay? Several conversion factors can be lined up to make a unit conversion. At times, a string of unit conversions can get long. In converting from kilometers per hour to feet per second, the numerator must be converted to kilometers, from kilometers to feet, and the denominator must be converted from hours to seconds. Since most people don't know the unit fraction to convert between these units, in one step, multiple steps are necessary. So that's actually what we're going to do right now. We're going to do kilometers per hour to feet per second. And I want you to notice that we're going to have something on the top. Kilometers, we have to get to feet. And then we're going to have to make hours turn into seconds. So we're going to have multiple conversions in here. Okay? So we have 37. And we're going to go the kilometers on top and the hours on the bottom, okay? So you needed to choose right now. Do you want to do the kilometers to feet, or do you want to make the seconds and hours? And it doesn't matter which one you choose.
Kilometers to feet.
Okay. So we're going to first come over here, and they're going to, in your problems recently, they've been telling you a certain number of miles and so forth. So apparently, you know how many miles in a kilometer. Okay, they've told you there in your problem. So we're going to have to go from kilometers, which is going to come on the bottom here, to miles. And then we're going to have to go miles to feet. And I should put an I because it'll look like meters to feet. Okay, so then eventually these will cancel and these will cancel and you'll be left with feet. Okay?
So there's, in 1 mile, there is 1.6 kilometers.
Okay. And how many feet in a mile?
5,280?
Yes.
Whoa, that's really
good job. It's amazing what you don't know you know.
Yeah.
All right, now, so we aren't going to do the math yet, but when we get our calculator out, we're going to take 37, divide it by the 1.6, and multiply by the 5,280. Okay, because this is on the bottom, so we divide. This one's on the top, so we multiply. Okay, but we're not done. We have now gotten ourselves to feet. Now we have to convert our hours. So I'm going to do something here, just so we have more room. We can do that on, can't do that on paper, but we can do that here. Okay. All right, so we're going to have to now, this part, I'm going to just kind of make this, set it aside here. This is the part that got us to the feet. Okay, so I'm going to just keep it with the box around it for a moment. And now we're going to start with our hours. And we want to go hours to seconds. But we probably, I don't know how many seconds in an hour, but I do know how many seconds are in a minute. And I know how many minutes in an hour. Okay, so I'm going to actually make this a little shorter. So I'm going to go from hours because I got to put it on top so these will cancel, right? And I know how many minutes in an hour.
I'm trying to think.
And so I also want to move this minutes up here. And I want to have my seconds down here because we do want our seconds to be on the bottom when we're all done. And so yes, hours will cancel and minutes will cancel and it'll be left with seconds when I'm done. Okay? So how many minutes in an hour?
60.
60. Whoa. 60 minutes in an hour. And how many seconds in a minute?
60.
All right. All right, so this section over here, no, that was, this over here was used to convert this hours to seconds, and the green part was used to convert the miles, so the kilometers to miles. So then when we get our calculator out and we type in 37, divide 1.6, multiply by this, divide by this, and divide by this, we'll have it all. Okay? So let's do that. Because that's a lot of numbers to be doing in my head. All right, when we put in our calculator, we got this. Okay, we got this, and this is what the calculator said. Of course, it keeps going on and on and on and on. And make sure that I actually have here the buttons that you should push. And I want you to notice that this was 1.609, so it shouldn't be too much different, but your conversion had that, and I just forgot to write it. Actually, your textbook says 1.6, so you
Yeah.
could use that. So the instructions here said a little different. But you're going to, again, look at the instructions on your homework to decide where you're supposed to round. If we're going to round to 1 decimal, we'd have 33.7, because we take that 2 and the 2 makes the 7 stay the same. But if we're going to round to 2 decimals, it's 33.73 because this 2 gets rounded up.
Right.
Okay? And then that will be, when we're all done, depending on where we round to, that'll be feet per second. Okay?
Awesome.
All right. Let's do another one. All right, this time we're going to do 0.03 ounces per second. This is more like you're filling up a bathtub and it's filling up. We're pouring in ounces, or we're taking out, it's draining. And then we want, I should actually, this is kilograms per hour. I should put a G on that. We don't know what kilowatt. All right, kilograms per hour. And so we're going to have to do the same thing. We're going to have to take the ounces and get to kilograms, and then we're going to have to take the seconds and get to hours. Okay. So it's imperative that when you're doing this, either turn your paper on the side or write small so you can fit it all the way across, because it gets long.
Right.
0.303, excuse me. And we're going to have this ounces, and which is OZ, and seconds. Okay, when we're abbreviating that, we don't have to write the whole word out. All right, they'll tell you in your problem that there are, how many grams are in an ounce. So we do need our ounces down here and our grams. And then we're going to have how many, and we have grams and kilograms. Okay?
Right. So we have 0.03 ounces in 1 second.
Wait just a second, careful.
We're doing that one.
Yes. So there's apparently 28.35, and your textbook tells you these conversions to be able to put in 1 ounce. But then this part we should know that a kilo means 1,000. So there are 1,000 grams in 1 kilogram. Okay. So now we've gotten ourselves. These will cancel. We have ounces will cancel, and then grams will cancel, leaving us with the kilograms that we're looking for, okay? And we're going to do the same thing we did before. We're going to kind of okay. Now we're going to have to take our seconds to hours. So we're going to do the same thing we were doing before. We have our seconds on here. And we're going to get from seconds no, I'm sorry, my bad. Seconds got to be on the top. Sorry, I was getting myself confused. We have seconds here, and we want that to cancel. And we know minutes, and we got to go our seconds down or cancel. Now we have our minutes that we're going to have to cancel to get to hours. We won't need this last little bit here. Could have wrote a little bigger. How many minutes in a second? How many seconds in a minute, excuse me?
60.
60 seconds in a minute. And how many minutes in an hour?
60.
60. So this time, we're going to get, when we get our calculator out, we're going to type in the 0.03, multiply by this, divide by that, and multiply by the 60s. Okay? We'll put it into the calculator, and notice that you just hit multiply every time here, just like you did before, and the divide. And I put it in all once and hit enter at the end. That way I don't make it, sometimes it messes up if you don't.
Yeah.
So then if we're going to keep 1 decimal, or 2, it depends on what the instructions say, we'll just do 1 here. The 6 will make that 0 go up to a 1, and this will be 3.1 and kilograms per hour. Okay.
Awesome.
There we go. Done. We have now converted. The trick is you have 2 things to convert now. We converted here to get our ounces to kilograms. Then we had to do another set for our denominator to get from seconds to minutes. Okay? Okay. I meant, that's not true. It's not to minutes, it's to hours. Okay, for seconds to get to hours. There we go. We have to be on the bottom. That's what I was trying.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. We're done.